Today on Locked on Buckeyes, we dive into a big announcement Ryan Day made about Miyan Williams and what the Buckeyes offense needs from TreVeyon Henderson throughout the rest of the year.
You are Locked on Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeyes fans? Welcome back for an episode of Locked on Buckeyes for the Locked on Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Wednesday, November 1st in the year 2023, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. During today's episode, we will discuss what the Buckeyes need from number 32 on the Buckeyes offense throughout the rest of the year, and also go over a needed injury update. But first, the Buckeyes got some unfortunate news, or made an announcement about some unfortunate news they recently got about number 3 on the Buckeyes offense. If you guys have been here for a long period of time, this season, last season, you know Miyan Williams is my guy. I love how he runs the ball. He totes the rock with purpose. When he gets there, when he hits you, you feel it every single time. And unfortunately, he has undergone surgery and he is out for the season. This is a big blow to the Buckeyes offense. The running back room needed a spark. Got a spark last week, a big spark. 200 all-purpose yards for number 32, TreVeyon Henderson. That was after he missed the 3 previous games prior to the game against the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes took a trip to Madison, Wisconsin to play the Wisconsin Badgers. TreVeyon Henderson came in. He was the lone back to get all the carries, most of the carries. We're used to Ryan Day trying to split the carries, or maybe one guy has a few more carries than the other. No, in this game, there is a large gap between the number of carries that TreVeyon Henderson had in this game and the second guy that had the second most carries in that contest. Miyan Williams has battled a lot of injuries. I wouldn't say a lot, but it seems like this season has been injury after injury. Last year, injury after injury. It's just unfortunate anytime a player goes down. But when you look at what is going on with this running back room this season, especially at this point in time, losing Miyan Williams is big. It's huge. 1, he's a leader. 2, he's one of your top 3 running backs in the depth chart at Ohio State. Regardless about who you think should start or who RB2 should be, he is clearly one of the top 3 backs in Ohio State right now. And losing him is huge because right now, if healthy, TreVeyon Henderson is your number 1. Who is your number 2 if Williams and Trainum are both healthy? That's been up for debate all season long. I think the debate was kind of over. I think we clearly realized that Chip Trainum has been more productive this season than Miyan Williams, taking all your feeling out of it. No matter how you view anybody else, it's clear Chip Trainum has been more productive in the Buckeyes offense this year than Miyan Williams. Also, something to really think about, I don't know how healthy Miyan has been this season. And so him having a basically season-ending surgery at this point in the season, could that have been done earlier this year? I don't know. Is this surgery happening right now be a big reason why he's out for the year? What if it happened at the beginning of September? Would he be able to go in the game? Or would he be able to go against Minnesota the week prior? Or would he be able to play in the CFP? I believe that first game's January 1st, which is the way it should be. Or what? Is the timing of it? Or is it something that could have been maybe happened a little bit sooner and him being able to play this year? I don't know. But this is a tough blow. It seemed like Ryan Day at his presser on Tuesday did a lot of discussing about injuries and even mentioned a guy in Lorenzo Styles Jr. who I didn't think this was going to come up this early in the show, but Ryan Day discussed, hey, there's a good chance the plan is to not a good chance. The plan is to redshirt Lorenzo Styles Jr., and there's a good chance we'll be able to make that move this year. Okay, great. But Ryan Day was talking about, he mentioned red shirts, mentioned Kyle McCord numerous times, mentioned injuries. And the injuries that Ohio State is having right now, they're the key players. Not going to go too in-depth with that conversation just yet, but you definitely want to stick around for who's hurt and what is the thought from the coach, Ryan Day, about when that player or when those players will get back on the field. Does this mean Dallin Hayden is moving up in the depth chart? Yes. Evan Pryor as well. Does this mean they'll be able to play on the field consistently, either one of them? That's literally TBD, to be determined. You know I want Dallin Hayden to play, not just because he wears one of my favorite numbers on his jersey. That's not just why. That's not a reason. No, not at all. But I do think Dallin Hayden should be in the thought and in consideration to be somebody that gets more playing time because Miyan Williams is out. Here's another thing. I mentioned Lorenzo Styles Jr. being somebody that Ryan Day is trying to redshirt. Ryan Day already said the thought and the plan is to redshirt Dallin Hayden. He also made a comment saying, you got to do what's needed so you win the game. And if there is a game this year, based off how injuries have gone for the RB room this year, there's a good chance Dallin Hayden and the thought to redshirt him might be thrown out the window because you need him right now. What the Buckeyes need is a running back. I don't care if it's number 19, number 32, number 21, or number 5, or maybe it's somebody that's a walk-on or somebody that hasn't played this year at the running back position. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter to me. I do believe Ryan Day and the Buckeyes offense need a running back to step up consistently. Think about how nice this offense would be, how much nicer this offense would be if they had a consistent running back that's a threat to run the ball. 100-plus yards, maybe they average 100 yards a game. That's huge. In a year where the Buckeyes are struggling to run the ball, now finally, after some early season issues with the Buckeyes offensive line, what have we seen? Really going back to the Notre Dame game in Western Kentucky as well, the offensive line is playing a whole lot better. So the thought is, oh, somebody got bad vision. Buddy, the hole is there. Oh, somebody missed a block. Oh, this, oh, that about the offensive line. I don't have paper to ball up and throw away, throw out of here, but that's kind of what I want to do. Throw that nonsense out the window. The running game, it can't be on the O-line really anymore. They're moving people. They're playing like a well-oiled machine. And I think Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, and others, they found what works with the offensive line. It was going to take time the entire season. We knew that going into it. But I think they're figuring out what works blocking-wise with the Buckeyes offensive line. It's a great thing to see how the boys up front block and move people. So people like number 32, TreVeyon Henderson, number 19, Chip Trainum, and others can run through those holes and get positive yardage and keep moving the ball down the field. It absolutely sucks that Miyan Williams is out for the season. Absolutely. Not going to sugarcoat it. But with Miyan Williams out, the Buckeyes are going to need Henderson to step up. What do the Buckeyes need from him throughout the rest of the season? We dive into that next on Locked On Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-under, and more. The Buckeyes line right now, they're 18.5-point favorites over Rutgers. I would caution you to, if you go over, Rutgers defense is one of the best defenses in the conference, one of the best in the country. They're going to be really good and solid when they play the Buckeyes on Saturday afternoon. The over-under is at 42.5. My gut wants to say under there as well. but it's your decision to make. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Once again, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen or first watch of every single day. Now is the perfect time to subscribe to the Locked On Buckeyes YouTube channel to prepare you for Locked On College Football Kickoff Live Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's a place for you to get conversations about playoff implications, the college football playoff rankings, and other things going on in and around the college football world. Subscribe to Locked On Buckeyes YouTube page so you're ready to go when the boys kick off another Locked On College Football Kickoff Live show this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. TreVeyon Henderson is going to continue to be the talk of the town, even more so than he was heading into today. As the days go on, his number is going to be brought up. His name's going to be brought up because if we thought that he was a big piece of the pie against Wisconsin, and he's a big reason why the Buckeyes won the game, that's great. That's going to be even bigger going forward. Rutgers defense is really, really, really good. Greg Schiano, former NFL head coach, former defensive coordinator at Ohio State, he has those boys playing really good ball right now. And if you think Wisconsin's 3-4 defense kind of shook up Kyle McCord, wait till Saturday. That defense at Rutgers is going to shake them up as well. Which goes into Kyle McCord coming back up. I'm not going to be here and nitpick and say, oh, Kyle McCord's bad, he's horrible, he's trash. One, that's a false statement. And two, I think people that say that don't properly know how to analyze the football that they're watching when number 6 has the ball in his hand and he is throwing the ball around. Kyle McCord's not a trash quarterback. Kyle McCord's not a horrible quarterback. Kyle McCord's not bad. Kyle McCord's literally learning how to play the quarterback position in college on the job, on national television, for all of his successes to be amplified and for his failures to be amplified at an even greater level. So no, Kyle McCord's not trash. Kyle McCord's not a bad quarterback. And I would caution you to say, hey, you don't believe that statement if somebody says he is trash or he is bad. The reality is that Kyle McCord needs number 32. The Buckeyes offense needs number 32. Things change a little bit if he's not healthy. And I say that because just like last season, he has missed numerous games due to injury. He actually missed last year's playoff game against Georgia. Why? Due to injury. Back at the beginning of December, it came out that he was ruled out for the season. Ended up getting some surgery on his foot that had been hurt for a long period of time last season. And hey, they said, hey, how about we just get this thing done now? Doctor recommended. Seemed odd. But when you're battling an injury like that and you just want to get healthy, maybe, just maybe, you have to miss time in the season you're in to get healthy. And that's what happened last year with TreVeyon Henderson. But if Henderson's going to run as hard as he did against Wisconsin, if he's going to run with intent and purpose like he did against Wisconsin and do it against Rutgers, absolutely do it against Michigan State. It should be expected. Do it against Minnesota. Do it against the team up north. Do it in the Big Ten championship game. Do it in the 2 playoff games. I say all that because if he runs like he did against Wisconsin, man, there's a good chance the Buckeyes will go all the way this year. I am not saying they're going to. I'm not saying they aren't going to. I am just making this statement about number 32. If he runs with the intent and purpose that he ran with against Wisconsin, the Buckeyes have a good chance of winning the Natty in 2023. Think about this. One of the biggest knocks against Henderson is not so much his vision, which that is a big criticism of number 32. One thing that's also brought up is that sometimes he just doesn't know where he knows where the hole is, doesn't hit it hard. And if he does hit it hard once or twice, it's not consistently. One of my favorite things about Saturday's game against Wisconsin is because from the jump, number 32 told you, and it's not really told you with his words, but showed you with his actions, I'm going to hit this hole. I know where I'm going. Once I get there, I am gone. And if I make a juke or a cut, it's with an intent and purpose to not dance around, go lateral east-west, but to maybe go east-west a little bit and then immediately go back to going north, not south, to go ahead and move the ball more down the field. Look, I like what I saw from Henderson. And I will not shy away from being a person that was very critical of number 32 last year and this year. It was proper analysis. I'm not taking back anything that I said about him. But one thing I will make a statement about, and I hope, and I'm not going to take this one back either. If Henderson runs and plays like he did against Wisconsin, he can be the lone back in the backfield. You really won't have to bring in Chip Trayanum or Xavier Johnson out of the slot or motion him into the backfield or have him start in the backfield. You might not need that. Why? Because Henderson's showing you he can get the job done week in, week out, week in, week out. Here's a thought here, and this is not so much about number 32, but a former Ohio State Buckeye that they really, really, really missed this season. Think about how nice the Buckeyes offense would be this year if they had Mitch Rossi back. Eligibility is over. He cannot come back and play. But man, how Ryan Day wants to run 12 personnel, one running back, two tight ends. And when really case over, your only really good blocking tight end, and he's your best tight end overall, and there's a major drop-off from number 8 to number 88 or anybody else, number 84, that is in the tight end room. Mitch Rossi would be a great asset and tool for the Buckeyes offense because even early in the season, when there were issues, simply running on 1st and 10 from your own 35, the playbook is open. What do? 1.5 yard gain. Okay, second and 8. What happens next? 1 yard gain. 2nd and 7. Wait, 3rd and 7. All of a sudden, wait, why? Because you couldn't run on 1st down, couldn't run on 2nd down, 3rd down. You're now in 3rd and 7, and you got to move the ball through the air to get a 1st down. Imagine if this team had Mitch Rossi. He's one of those guys. I said it about Stroud. I'll say it about Rossi. I appreciate them more after they're gone than I did when they were there. But unlike Stroud, where I was very critical at times of C.J. Stroud and that way he played, I was really praising Mitch Rossi for how he played, his physicality, and how he was just doing what the team needed him to do to move the ball down the field. And I think sometimes TreVeyon Henderson needs a lead blocker. Old school HBISO. You played Madden, I played Madden, I still play NCAA Football 14. One thing we love is the HBISO. Get me a fullback, get me a running back, go right up that A gap on the right side or left side, and let's ride with this thing. Goal line situations, I love it. But also, Ryan Day found a way to use 12 personnel in a fullback and not just goal line or short yardage situations. And I think the Buckeyes really miss Mitch Rossi. This is a thought that it's been in my head for a long time. And I wanted to pull it in here with talking about TreVeyon Henderson. They need him to be the lead back. They need him comfortable having 20 or more carries in a game week after week after week. They need him to stay healthy. Because if not, Chip Trayanum's good. At his best, I don't think his best is TreVeyon Henderson's best. He is consistent. If Henderson's consistent, it might be lights out. Because the Buckeyes offense, as odd as this may seem, they can hit on all cylinders here really, really soon. Maybe not against Rutgers. But Rutgers, Michigan State, Minnesota, we can see over the next few weeks the Buckeyes offense get better and better and better. Why? A big reason for the why is because of number 32 at Ohio State, and his name is TreVeyon Henderson. TreVeyon Henderson was not talked about by Ryan Day when he discussed injuries at Ohio State, but Lathan Ransom was. We'll dive into what Day had to say about Ransom next on Locked On Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by eBay Motors, passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebay.com/motors. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen or first watch of every single day. Now is a great time for you to subscribe to Locked On Buckeyes on Apple, Spotify, the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your fine podcasts. If you're an Apple user or on Spotify, leave a 5-star review and a rating. It's a great free way to help more people come across the Locked On Buckeyes podcast and enjoy Buckeye football and basketball conversations. I say basketball because the basketball season is going to start sooner than you think, and we'll definitely filter in some Buckeye basketball into our Buckeye football conversations here on this show. Injuries suck. I can't say it any other way. Injuries suck. We don't like talking about injuries, especially when it's to your quarterback, your backup quarterback, a safety, a backup running back. Who else is on my list? Oh, I think that's it for now. The list is too long, man. Injuries are not fun to talk about. Kyle McCord's banged up. Devin Brown's hurt. Lathan Ransom, Miyan Williams, JT Tuimoloau got hurt recently. It's a part of the game. Emeka, Egbuka, it's a part of the game. We just have to live with it. Now, I think the thought and the expectation is for Egbuka to play on Saturday, which would be great to get him back a few games before the game. Now, getting him back is one thing. Will he stay healthy? I don't know. And I say that, will he stay healthy? You've watched Ohio State football over the past couple of years. I say couple because it seems like guys get hurt, go back in, get hurt, go back. What is it? It's mainly the running back room, but I just don't know. But Egbuka is expected to play on Saturday, which is huge. And that might be what Kyle McCord needs to not have a slow start early in the game. Finished off hot and strong. Got a great streak of completed passes and a great streak of, hey, I think he completed 13 of his last 15 passes. That's a great way to close a game. It's going to be easier to have your first 13 passes be completions of your first 15 in the game at the beginning of the game to start off that way with number 2 back on the field. Devin Brown is expected to practice. That's as far as we got. Practice always comes before games and getting back on the field. And Ryan Day said that Devin Brown is expected to practice. Maybe later this week I may discuss, I don't know if it's the right time to do that, the show before a game. But at some point I need to discuss, now is the time. I ain't got to wait any longer. Let's get this thing out. There is no need for Ohio State to try to have a Tristan Jevia package or a Lincoln Kienholz package or maybe Xavier Johnson back in the backfield in the Wildcat position. No. That is not needed. Now, the only one of those three that I'll say, yes, go ahead and move forward with that if it's a thought, Xavier Johnson at the Wildcat position, Wildcat quarterback. But even then, it ain't needed. I am not a fan of, let's do the old Tim Tebow or Urban Meyer. Let's bring in Tim Tebow in goal line of short yardage. Let's pull Chris Leaker. Let's pull Kyle McCord. Absolutely not. Let's not do that. One, it worked for Florida. 2, Devin Brown ain't Tim Tebow. Devin Brown ain't built like Tim Tebow. Devin Brown is built like a regular quarterback, just like Kyle McCord. So, it's not needed. Not at all. Especially put the guy out there that's doing something new. And if you're doing something new, ball security might be something that you're not the best at. Absolutely not. They don't need no QB package and goal line situations. The QB package, it better involve number 6 and him either handing the ball off or slinging that rock or maybe a QB sneak when it's goal to go situation. That's about it. I'd have to wait till Thursday or Friday to get that off my chest. There you go. Another injury that Ryan Day talked about was actually Kyle McCord, said that he's banged up. He was banged up in the game against Wisconsin. I hurt his ankle, I do believe, in the game against Notre Dame. That's as far as we got. Still expected to play. The other one that I was kind of curious was Lathan Ransom, number 8. Got hurt, a non-contact injury in the game against Wisconsin. Ended up leaving the field, had to get some help. He ended up, I believe, limping to the locker room. It just didn't look good. Ryan Day said they're trying to figure out a timeline with Lathan Ransom, and they'll try to have one later in the week. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Now, how do the Buckeyes overcome this injury, this loss, if he is out? Put Styles and Proctor as safety. If you want to run 2 safeties, make one your strong safety, make one your free safety. If you want to make them interchangeable, go ahead and make that happen. I don't see a reason to bring in Malik Hartford or Jahad Carter if Jahad Carter is back healthy and off the injury list, or the unavailable list. Let's be more college football centric and correct. But that's it. Jahad Carter, Malik Hartford, I don't think they need to come out there. You put Styles out there, you put Proctor out there, and really, honestly, you got 2 options, realistic options. Jordan Hancock at nickel corner or 4-3 and bring in Cody Simon. That's it. Those should be the only options. If you want to bring in Cam Martinez, we saw what happened last game. Now, I only played 6 plays. One of those was a play on 3rd and 13 that ended up leading to Wisconsin scoring their only touchdown in that game. That's reality. I don't think you need to put in Cam Martinez, Jermaine Matthews Jr. Maybe do you want to bump Igbenogson to the inside? Okay, cool. Maybe that's a realistic option. But outside of that, no. I don't even care about seeing Jair Brown. No. Play Matthews Jr. or Hancock. That's it. Or Cody Simon. Those are your 3 guys. That is it. I am comfortable. I think you will be as well. Moving Sonny Styles back. Now, if they feel like they need to have Sonny Styles closer to the line of scrimmage, that's when Malik Hartford or Jahad Carter comes off the bench onto the field. But if they're comfortable having Styles back, keep them on the sideline, bring in Jordan Hancock. If it's more run heavy, you still want to have Styles back, take out Jordan Hancock, bring in Cody Simon. Enough said. Done deal. We have fixed and realized how realistically the Buckeyes can put their dominant players on the field, guys that are consistently in rotation, if Lathan Ransom has to miss any games on the Buckeye schedule. Out of here on a Wednesday. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at jstevens07. You can send all of your emails to jstevens317@gmail.com. We are out of here on a Wednesday, Buckeye fans. I'll see you next time.